they are not denying the cross in theory. They venerate it, they go to church, but they have denied the cross of Christ in their lifestyle. They have denied the crucifixion gospel of Christ by being the people of hedonism and constant entertainment. The cross opposes this lifestyle. The cross is the symbol of self-control, the symbol of discomfort and suffering. This is what the cross stands for. And St. Paul labels the pleasure-seeking Christians enemies of the cross of Christ. So this is quite obvious. If someone has denied the cross, either in theory or in praxis, does not have the seal of God, and he's subject to destruction. My friends, we need to search and question ourselves. Each one must ask this question: do I have the seal of God? Do I have the information that I still maintain the seal of God, the one that we received during our baptism and chrismation? Do I still have it? Do I maintain it? Am I a faithful person? Do I live according to the law of God so I can maintain the seal of Christ indelible in my life? This is a great subject, a subject that concerns the Christians of all ages, and especially during the time of the arrival of the Antichrist. But even now, let's not say that these things are only for the future, but for the present as well. As we explain, this seal takes place many, many times in history, many times. And if you will, tomorrow we can have a catastrophic event. Tomorrow the sirens can sound and we can wake up to a great catastrophe. Who will be saved? Only those who have the seal of the cross on their foreheads. How will they be saved? It is quite possible that even their life will be spared, but that's not the issue. But in such a catastrophe where people will turn against God, then these people bearing the seal of the cross will not fall. They will stay standing. They will not be stricken by fear. They will remain people of faith, regardless to what concentration camp they may be led to, regardless to what crematoriums they may be shoved in, hot ovens, regardless of what tortures they undergo, they will remain standing. As you can see, my friends, we are always in great need of this seal. We must always have this seal, and we must question ourselves, do we have the seal of Christ? Do we maintain it? My friends, what else can I say? Our time's almost up. And next week, we will see the number of those sealed, and that number is 144,000 according to the book of the Revelation. Here, in these verses, we will see who are these 144,000. Who do they represent? And are we included in this number? But because this subject is quite involved, we will continue this topic next time, God willing. And in a few minutes remaining on the tape, we will read the chapters of Ezekiel 8 and 9 of the great prophet Ezekiel, who was taken into captivity very young, about 25 years old. He was married at the time, and he went to Babylon. He was captured by Nebuchadnezzar, and they stayed for about 70 years in captivity. And he was called to the task of being a prophet in a very powerful way. God appeared to him and told him that tonight, when your wife dies, again, he's about 30 years old, when your wife dies, I don't want you to weep, do not cry, do not show much emotion, and do not accept any condolences from your countrymen, from the other people. And everyone was amazed at the great perseverance and the great patience and self-control that this great prophet showed at losing his wife at the age of 30 years old. And after that, he, of course, dedicated himself to the work of God. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, on the 5th day of the month, as I sat in my house with the elders of Judah sitting before me, that the hand of the Lord God fell upon me there. Then I looked, and there was a likeness like the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his waist and downward fire, and from his waist and upward like the appearance of brightness, like the color of amber. He stretched out the form of a hand and took me by a lock of my hair, and the Spirit lifted me up between earth and heaven and brought me in visions of God to Jerusalem, to the door of the north gate of the inner court, where the seat of the image of jealousy was, which provokes to jealousy. And behold, the glory of God of Israel was there, like the vision that I saw in the plain. Then he said to me, Son of man, lift your eyes now toward the north. So I lifted my eyes toward the north, and there, north of the altar gate, was this image of jealousy in the entrance. Furthermore, he said to me, Son of man, do you see what they are doing, the great abominations that the house of Israel commits here, to make me go far away from my sanctuary? Now turn again, you will see greater abominations. So he brought me to the door of the court, and when I looked, there was a hole in the wall. Then he said to me, Son of man, dig into the wall. And when I dug into the wall, there was a door. And he said to me, Go in and see the wicked abominations which they are doing there. So I went in and saw, and there every sort of creeping thing, abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed all around on the walls. And there stood before them 70 men of the elders of the house of Israel, and in their midst stood Jezaniah, the son of Shaphan. Each man had a censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then he said to me, Son of man, have you seen what the elders of the house of Israel do in the dark, every man in the room of his idols? For they say, The Lord does not see us. The Lord has forsaken the land. And he said to me, Turn again, and you will see greater abominations that they are doing. So he brought me to the door of the north gate of the Lord's house, and to my dismay, women were sitting there weeping for Tammuz. Then he said to me, Have you seen this, O son of man? Turn again, you will see greater abominations than these. So he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and there at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they were worshiping the sun toward the east. And he said to me, Have you seen this, O son of man? Is it a trivial thing to the house of Judah to commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence. Then they have returned to provoke me to anger. Indeed, they put the branch to their nose. Therefore I will also act in fury. My eye will not spare, nor will I have any pity. And though they cry in my ears with a loud voice, I will not hear them. Then he called out in my hearing with a loud voice, saying, Let those who have charge over the city draw near, each with a deadly weapon in his hand. And suddenly 6 men came from the direction of the upper gate, which faces north, each with his battle axe in his hand. One man among them was clothed with linen and had a writer's inkhorn at his side. They went in and stood beside the bronze altar. Now the glory of the God of Israel had gone up from the cherub where he had been to the threshold of the temple. And he called to the men clothed with linen, who had the writer's inkhorn at his side. And the Lord said to him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and put a mark on the foreheads of the men who sigh and cry over all the abominations that are done within it. To the others he said in my hearing, Go after him through the city and kill. Do not let your eyes spare, nor have any pity. Utterly slay old and young, men, maidens, and little children and women. But do not come near anyone on whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. So they began with the elders who were before the temple. Then he said to them, Defile the temple and fill the courts with the slain. Go out. And they went out and killed in the city. So it was that while they were killing them, I was left alone, and I fell on my face and cried out and said, Lord God, will you destroy all the remnant of Israel in pouring out your fury on Jerusalem? Then he said to me, The iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceedingly great, and the land is full of bloodshed, and the city full of perversity, for they say, The Lord has forsaken the land, and the Lord does not see. And as for me also, my eye will neither spare, nor will I have pity, but I will recompense their deeds on their own head. Just then, the man clothed with linen, who had the inkhorn at his side, reported back and said, I have done as you commanded me.